What up, everybody? It's your girl, Precious Mary, and I'm here to review Lionel's episode, Dear White People Season 2, Chapter 3. Okay, so, I am redoing Lionel's episode because I did record this, but when I rewatched it, I didn't like how I reviewed it, so I'm doing it over again. I'm just gonna get straight to the point because Lionel's first episode, he has 2 episodes in season 2. So this particular episode, his first episode, there was really nothing to recap. Um, so I just want to talk about some of the most important things that happened in the episode. So to give you a general recap of this episode, basically this was about Silvio. Yes, Silvio taking Lionel to different gay spots within the university. And the only reason why he did that was so that he can find his keys. Earlier in the episode, Silvio was supposed to take Lionel out, but he arrived a couple of hours late, and when he did arrive, I guess he was very drunk, so he crashed on Lionel's bed, and then when he finally woke up, Lionel reminded him of the reason why, they were supposed to go out, and so Silvio took that opportunity to look for his keys, and he didn't tell Lionel. Lionel didn't figure it out until the end of the episode when they were at their final third spot. And yeah, when they were at their final third spot, and Silvio was finally able to get his keys. So the 2 things that stood out to me in this episode was Troy. I really liked Troy and the conversation that Lionel had with Wesley. And actually 3 things. The third thing is Lionel has trouble navigating within the homosexual world. Well, not world, homosexual dating scene. First, he's taken to this predominantly white homosexual setting. Then he's taken to a predominantly black homosexual setting. And then the third spot, I guess, is a gay bar, a gay lounge. And that's where he finds Wesley. So we see him struggling with these 3 different scenarios. And I guess that's only because Lionel he's finally came out of the closet, and he's never really had an opportunity to be with predominantly gay people. So I'm guessing he's having a little struggle navigating through this world. So let's go with the first point, Troy. Troy is so comfortable with his heterosexuality. He's just so comfortable with it, and I love it. I noticed that, and I'm not sure if anybody else picked that up. First of all, Troy doesn't have a problem with Lionel being a homosexual. If it was a typical black heterosexual guy, the moment he found out that Lionel is gay, he probably would have gone to his dorm master. I don't know what they're called. I didn't go to an out-of-state college. I was in an inner-city college where there was no dorm, so I basically stayed home with my mom. But I know speaking to friends, I know there's somebody that's head of the housing department in colleges, so that is who you go to, I guess, if you have a problem with your roommate. So I know if Troy was a typical black heterosexual male who found out that his roommate is gay, he probably would have opted out to be his roommate. He would have left. But Troy, in the first season, when Lionel told Troy that he's gay, Lionel was like, all right, cool. He didn't care, and they remained roommates. So I thought that was that's pretty cool of Troy. And then on top of that, Troy is sort of into Lionel's antics. So when Lionel goes inside the bathroom to fix his tie, when Silvio was like, no, I'm going to take you out. So Troy, he has this disappointed look on his face because he thought he was going to get a threesome with these 2 girls, but it turns out that the 2 girls, as Troy put it, are legit lesbians. and they just wanted weed from him. And Lionel sarcastically told Troy, "Oh, can you believe it? Two women who are actual lesbians who are not there for the sexual satisfaction of a straight man." And Troy was like, "Yeah, that's so bad. That's so sad." And obviously Troy didn't give a sarcastic tone of Lionel, but I guess that's kind of, that's just Troy and how most heterosexual males think like towards lesbians. And then as their conversation is going, Lionel tells Troy, "Oh, him and Sylvia are going to a gay party." And Troy was like, "Oh, y'all going to a gay party where there's going to be straight women? Shit, I'm in." What heterosexual guy would do that? And as their conversation kept going, Troy was like to Lionel, "One of us is going to get the butt cheeks." So I love Troy. I love how comfortable he is with his sexuality. He knows that he loves women. He knows that he enjoys women. He loves having sex with women. So he doesn't care about what homosexuals do, and what they do doesn't affect him as a heterosexual male. Even Silvio peeps into the bathroom and he's like, "Damn, do you never have a shirt on?" And Troy is like, "All right." He's like, "My bad, I'll go put on a shirt." And Silvio's like, "Shh, did I tell you to put a shirt on?" And then Silvio walks away, and Troy just, he just shakes his head and has a little smirk on his face. So that's what I'm talking about. If it was any typical heterosexual black male, he would have been like, "Yo, dog, I don't roll that way," da, 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 and all that other stuff, like trying to prove something. But Troy just, he sort of smiles it, he laughs it off. And I love that. I like that. That's something that I love about Troy. He doesn't care what homosexual people do. That's their business. It doesn't affect him as a heterosexual male. And he goes and he tags along with Silvio and Lionel in hopes of, he was on this conquest to get pussy. So he went to the predominantly white homosexual party, and then he went to the predominantly black homosexual party. So that's Troy's character. You can say that he's an asshole for doing that, so that he's just using his homosexual friends to get women. But I guess, yes, that is true. But on a positive note, he doesn't care about having a roommate that's gay. He doesn't care about a homosexual male kind of flirting with him. He doesn't care about that because he knows who he is. He knows what he likes, and what homosexuals do does not affect him as a heterosexual male. So that's one thing I love about Troy. And maybe that's a message to black men. You don't have to be so guarded when you have a homosexual around you, and it's not as if homosexual men are checking for you anyways. So I like that. The second thing, this is the most important thing that I got from the episode. I'm not sure if the creator of Dear White People is trying to convey this message that interracial dating is like the biggest thing in a homosexual setting, but it seems as if that is what he is saying, the creator of the show is saying. And I found out through another YouTuber called Justin, he's a homosexual black male, that the creator of Dare White People, he's a gay black man who's in a relationship with a white guy. So I don't know. So when Silvio takes Lionel to the predominantly white homosexual party, Lionel has a little difficulty, as I said, navigating in this space. Eventually, Silvio goes off to talk to somebody. So Lionel goes off to just find somebody to talk to. And eventually, he sees the only other black gay guy in the party. So he has this sigh of relief, like, "Oh God, another one. There's another person. There's another person of color here. So he goes up to the person, and they strike up this very nice conversation. Lionel finds out that this person, I think his name was it Demarcus or I think it's Demarcus. Oh gosh, I didn't pick up his name, but I think it's Demarcus. I think Demarcus reviews poetry or something like that. So right then and there, Lionel and Demarcus, they have something in common. They're both writers. And so Lionel is, still trying to get Demarcus. Demarcus, he responds back to Lionel. So you see that there's this little vibe that they're having. And then all of a sudden, Demarcus stops Lionel, and he's like, "Oh, just FYI, I'm not into black guys." And then he walks away. And I was like, what? There's nothing wrong with having a preference, but then you have to ask yourself, why is it you have this preference? Why is it this gay black man? Why is it his preference is white men? Why is that? You had to have something either happen to you or something was told to you when you were younger that made you prefer a white man over another black man. You get what I'm saying? Like a couple of months ago, Matthew Knowles did an interview, and he revealed in that interview that he was told as a young boy, don't bring any black women back into this house. Don't bring, especially any dark-skinned black women into this house. So because of that, he had a preference for white women or very lighter toned black women. He even said in the interview that he thought Tina Knowles was a white woman. That's why he approached her. And he was kind of shocked to find out that through getting to know her, that she was just a lighter skin complex. She was a lighter toned black woman who was proud of her blackness. And he was surprised by that. So it makes me wonder, if Tina Knowles was my skin complexion, would he have even approached her? Would he have even, say hi to her and try to strike a conversation to her? You have to ask yourself, where does your preference come from? Because when you were born, you didn't say to yourself, I'm just only going to date white people, or I'm just going to date Hispanic women, or whatever the case may be. Something happened to you. Is either somebody told you to date a specific race, or you had a bad experience with one or two black people, and that's when you decided, yeah, I'm done. I'm only gonna now date a white person, and that's the thing with, I just don't see why you wouldn't want to date somebody that looks like you and that relates to you in certain ways that a person from another race wouldn't be able to relate to you. That's like, I don't have a preference. I like men. But I see that I gravitate more towards black men than any other race of men. But I would never say that my preference is a white guy or my preference is a Hispanic guy or anything like that. Because there's just certain things that a black man will be able to, especially a black man that loves himself, that is aware of the things that are going on around him. He will be able to relate to me in that aspect that, let's say, a white guy will not be able to relate to in that aspect. And then I will have to do everything to educate this white guy. And that is if he's willing to be educated by me. So when Damascus told Lionel that, he doesn't date black guys, Lionel was like, oh, okay. He had that facial expression. And Damascus, did I say Damascus? My God, I have the Bible in my mind. Demarcus decided to walk away from Lionel. So that's one thing. And then in the other scene, the third spot that that Silvio takes Lionel to, he meets Wesley, a Hispanic gay person, and Lionel asks Wesley, "Oh, what brings you here?" And Wesley sarcastically said, "The love of my life." And the camera pans to Wesley's boyfriend who's white, and he's making out with this other person. And then Wesley tells Lionel, "I knew that there was something wrong in our relationship when he kept introducing me to men that are so into Latino guys." And Lionel was like, "I know, right?" It's as if it's a grand compliment for people to tolerate me. And then the next line, then Wesley tells him, "I know, it's like the gay 10 commandments or something like that." And then Lionel says, "We love coming up with reasons to reject our own." And I thought that stood out to me because, as I said, I'm not sure if the creator of the show is trying to put out in the scene that interracial relationships is the thing in gay, in the dating world of homosexual men. And Wesley, Wesley, a Hispanic, a Latino homosexual man. He's basically telling Lionel that his white boyfriend was parading him around as some fetish and introducing Wesley to other, it seems as if, white homosexual males who were interested in Latino men, as if they're trying to live out their fetish for Latino gay men. And Lionel is, I don't know if he was able to pick that up from Wesley, but he said, "Yeah, I know." And I guess he's saying that because of how Silvio is treating him, just parading him around as well. Silvio, interestingly enough, is a gay Hispanic, not Hispanic, he's a gay Latino man. And I just love what Lionel said. We love coming up with reasons to reject our own. And that is so true, especially with minorities, specifically, well, as a Black woman. I notice when Black people do get into interracial relationships, not all, but a very few, and the media always pays attention to the very few Black people that are in interracial relationships that dog their own people, that say negative things about their own people. There are Black people in interracial relationships that just happen to fall in love with this person that happens to be white or any other race, and that's it. They just love this person, but you don't see them being highlighted. You usually see people that are highlighted through the media, even through YouTube. Black people that say, "Oh, you hear Black men say negative things about Black women. You hear Black women say negative things about Black men, and that's why they're with this white person that they just happen to be with." We always have to come up with reasons to, it goes back to what Lionel said, we always come up with reasons to reject our own, to reject our own people. Why must we do that in order to be accepted into white spaces? And I think that's something we do need to talk about. And it's something that we need to think about as well. Because when we keep doing that, in a way, we're becoming agents of white supremacy. We're putting down our own people in order to be accepted, in order to be loved by white people. And let me say this again, I am in no way saying this is the basis of all interracial relationships. As I said before, there are Black people in interracial relationships that just happen to fall in love with this person of another race who's able to relate to them in so many different ways. But you don't see them saying negative things about their own people. This message of we love coming up with reasons to reject our own is for those Black people, Black men, Black women that say negative things about their own people when they are in an interracial relationship. That is who I'm addressing. That's all. So I'm guessing this also happens in in the gay community, this is what I mean, that's what I was getting from this episode of Dear White People with Lionel's character. And also Wesley, because Wesley did bring up the fact that his white boyfriend was basically parading him around as this fantasy, as a Latino fantasy for white homosexual males to fulfill. Um, so, so yeah, that is my review for Lionel. Lionel does have a second episode. I can't wait to review that one. I will review that one soon. I fucking love Brooke. I love her. I can't wait to talk about Lionel's second episode in season 2. So that is my review for Lionel's episode, chapter 3 of Dear White People, season 2. Please like, subscribe to my channel as well. Comment below, what do you think about Lionel's episode? And do you agree with the message that the creator was trying to put, the message that he was trying to convey in regards to interracial relationships within the gay community and interracial relationships in general? So that's it, and I will see you next time. Bye.